up and good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. We've got something super sick today. I'm so excited. We've got Ryan here.
What's up?
Do you want to tell him what we're doing or should I tell him what we're doing?
You tell him.
Alrighty guys, well you might see behind me, there's a stadium behind me, and Ryan is actually part of the dirt crew for Monster Jam. One of the things I love to showcase and I love to show, obviously blue collar stuff, obviously construction, obviously heavy equipment and dirt work, but I love the behind the scenes of stuff. And I'm getting an exclusive look today at what it takes to build a Monster Jam track. And I'm taking you guys along with it. Ryan is generous enough to we got us a sweet ride here, you know? There you go. We're gonna
tons of rain.
It is not ideal conditions, that is for sure. I feel like this week has been cursed with rain, especially here in California. But we're gonna see what these guys go through, especially in like conditions that aren't perfect. I feel like it's gonna be better content, you know? Like it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's not easy. Usually we just start building now, but first we gotta deal the whole day of fixing mud and pumping out ponds and every other thing.
So this is a pretty high dollar operation, right? I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
This is not small scale. This ain't the county fair. This is the big leagues.
Yeah, we got millions of dollars worth of equipment here to make this happen. We flew in from all over the country to do it.
Well, you just got in last night, right?
Yeah, we flew in last night. We left LA 2 days ago, went home for like 12 hours. All the way to New York and just came back.
There you go.
So yeah, this is our dirt pile hole.
Okay.
Yeah, this is where all the dirt is for Supercross in the building and for Monster Jam, but...
Wait, so you're pulling out of here still?
Well, no. This is where we got all the dirt in the building.
Okay.
We need to bring some extra dirt back out, all the mud and slop, but we can't put it in here because it's full of water. So we got this insane pump here to pump all the water out before we put the dirt back in. Quite an operation.
I feel like we're on an episode of Gold Rush right here. This is what, this is what it looks like.
That's what I just told them earlier.
That is a ton of water.
Yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, so this is dirt. This is all road base like stone.
Right.
Another pond. But so there's a layer of stone in there on the field first to work off of, and then all the dirt. But this is where all that stone's got to go back to. Also a hole full of water right now, so we'll have to pump that too. For you guys that don't know, when it comes to the dirt for events like this, you'll typically see Supercross and Monster Jam follow each other, correct? Yeah. And you guys essentially use the same dirt. Yeah, it's the same company that owns and runs Supercross and Monster Jam. So to be efficient, we just basically go one after the other in the stadiums, and then that way we don't have to truck all the dirt in, truck it back out, and do it all over again. And then are there certain places they actually store the dirt year-round for the event, or is it always new? Everywhere? Everywhere. This dirt's it was specifically set up here for this building. Okay. Every single stadium has a pile of dirt somewhere that we use every year. This year, well, I guess the last couple of years, here at this stadium, they're doing Monster Jam twice. Yeah. Right? So you guys come in, do your Monster Jam, Supercross comes in, does their track, and then now you guys are back. Yeah, and now we'll take the dirt out at the end of the show Sunday. So typically you said Supercross uses more dirt than Monster Jam. Yeah, they hauled in 135 dump truck loads more than what we hauled in. So tomorrow we'll haul out roughly 135 loads back out. Okay, so you don't, like the second track doesn't end up being more dirt for Monster Jam just because there's more dirt inside. You guys actually pull the dirt out? Yeah, we actually just take it out. Okay, yeah. Awesome. Because the tracks are designed very like specific. They're just like job site plans, so we know like exactly what we need to build, and it's the same thing we built before. So obviously if they hauled in 135 extra loads, we know we had to haul about 135 back out. So it makes the math easy. Yeah, that's for sure. Pretty easy. So you guys are pumping out all the water out of these ponds. So is this where the 135's coming? Yep, we'll start by putting that in here tomorrow, and then the rest of the dirt will come out on Sunday after the show. Gotcha. And then on Monday, the stone will come out and go into that hole. Okay. And then it'll be reset back to a field. This will be back to a parking lot. And then at that point, you're on your way to the next one. Yeah, and then we drive to Anaheim next week. All right, well, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not a bad trip. How's it going? You bringing the machine in? Yeah, can you get that one over there? I didn't even realize. So even to get it into the stadium, you got to truck it from the parking lot into the stadium so you don't tear up the asphalt, right? Yeah, some stadiums we can just do like fire hoses or put down plywood. Gotcha. Some stadiums don't care at all. You can just drive right in, track it in. But this place is brand new, so we don't want any damage, so we're gonna just truck it in.
So you guys have how many days to get this place prepped?
Basically, we have today and tomorrow. Pretty much everything before 11 o'clock on Friday, because that's when we do practice.
Gotcha.
So track has to be done by then.
Now at this point, where are the drivers?
Some are here that just came straight from Anaheim, and some of them fly home and they'll be back like probably Thursday.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah, pretty busy every day from here till...
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
And then immediately after the show, is that when you guys come in?
Yeah, the second the show ends, we just start taking all the obstacles out and getting the dirt hauled out and try to be done by Monday morning.
So thankfully the show ends at 3 p.m.
Yeah, it's a huge help.
Not 9 p.m.
Yeah, some shows are just one show Saturday at 7. So we don't start working until like 10 o'clock or so, and 9:30, 10 when the show's over on Saturday night, and then got to work all night into Sunday. So
fun stuff.
Yeah, real fun.
So I don't know if you guys can see, we're just on a GoPro, it's a little bit of a distance, but they got all the banners are laying out there. That is from the last show. So again, you guys have been going up and down California and hitting rain pretty much most of the stops and mud. So these trucks throw an insane amount of mud on everything, including all the banners. So they're laying out all those banners right there. They're gonna get pressure washed. At least the weather's like not too cold today, you know?
Yeah, no, it's not bad. It's supposed to get sunny and nice all week too, so things should dry out and be...
Now that the excavator is loaded up on the lowboy, they are making a path. The lowboy has to back it in here. Again, this stadium is brand new, so they don't want any of the concrete torn up or chewed up. It is a very tight squeeze though. You would think when they would build these places, they would account for the fact that you're gonna be hosting events like this where you need heavy equipment and trucks coming in and out. But yeah, pretty small tunnel to that opening right there. Alrighty, they got the excavator loaded in. The lowboy is pulling out. Ryan had to leave us for a second. He is back in the excavator somewhere over there moving some dirt. I'm just kind of wandering around in the stands and just trying to get my bearings a little bit here. Now again, all of the dirt you see behind me is left over from Supercross. Basically, these guys are coming in and kind of placing it where they need it, and they're gonna be hauling out the dirt that they don't need, which I do not believe is going to be happening today. This is gonna be a 2-day process. We will be back tomorrow as well for all of the haul out, but it's just one of those things where the dirt conditions aren't exactly ideal for trucks to come in and go out without making just a giant mess.
I mean, I think we're gonna try to get, there's like 8 dumpsters down there that we gotta get lined up to protect the wall, and then we can build the backflip and just fill that with dirt. They made these new metal backflip ramps that we've never tried before. So this is just laying out like the center house deal. So we'll lay that out, and then we can start figuring out where all the dirt really has to go and try to find good enough dirt to put there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's still like, even in the piles, I thought it was gonna be good and dry, and it's pretty wet.
Not looking too promising.
No, it's not looking good. If the sun was out, we'd be in really good shape though. It would dry this out very fast.
Yeah. Now I know obviously we're not too concerned, but have you guys ever not made a deadline, and what happens if you don't?
No, we never really have.
There you go.
It's just, I'd rather have it be dry when we build than if it's a mud show. You can deal with it easy. It's harder to build out of mud.
Right.
And then have a good show, because we can still make it look really nice, but it's just not as like hard. And there's 2 shows, so it's gonna get destroyed on Saturday.
Gotcha. So you got your layout guy here. I'm assuming he's got a set of plans somewhere that these are all drawn up on.
Yeah, basically we just figure out the center line this way, the center line that way, and then there's a million measurements off of that, so everything will get laid out based on center lines. And pretty much it's just like there's a huge pot of dirt that goes down here, a couple right here, and then a pretty big one there. So the dirt's kind of totally in the wrong spots where we need it right now.
Gotcha.
So we'll just start to get them like roughly laid out, and then get the dirt about where it needs to be, and then start to shape it.
I'm an avid Supercross fan. I've been to a lot of Supercross races. When you see it piled up like this, it doesn't look like that much dirt. Yeah. Especially from standing up there.
Yeah.
But and you're still taking out 135 truckloads, and you guys use a decent amount of dirt.
Oh yeah.
Like your guys' features aren't small.
No, there's still gonna be probably like 5,000 yards of dirt in here.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So here you guys can see the mix of what he's talking about. You kind of have the road base underneath, and then your guys' dirt up on top. And then here's what's protecting this is a turf field, right?
Yeah.
So all that's protecting the turf is we've got a layer of plastic down first, and then this is almost like a sandbag material. Fabric. And then you have these plastic sheets that are like that's
not much to it.
And then at the end of this, they have to export all of this dirt quickly and not dig anywhere past that layer into the turf, because that's a very expensive fix that nobody wants to do, right?
Correct.
Now, I'm assuming these dumpsters are brought in because if you look right here in the stands, this is a very low wall. And obviously these trucks, the tires are probably about this high. That little wall would not stop a truck from going up into the crowd. Not that they allow people to get this close. So if you look over in these stands over here, you'll see, obviously some of the seats are red, but you'll see these strips are red. So what they do is they section off big sections of the stands in an effort to not let people get too close.
So I got that part good.
Okay.
But I gotta kind of like hook this thing and like bring it back. The back edge of this is supposed to be like right on the edge of, basically.
On the dirt, okay. All the plastic sheeting starting to go.
Is it pretty parallel, or should this go back? Not really. This side back out?
Yeah, you're about 1.5 feet off. You're good right there. Probably good right there. We'll see if they line up. You know, the conditions don't look so bad from up there in the stands, but it is pretty bad and pretty muddy down here. These boys definitely got their work cut out for them. You can see Ryan filling in some of the holes, all the dips to make it easier when they bring over this other box. Now this is the box that they're gonna be using to build the backflip ramp. And it's just a trench shoring box. If you guys ever see people working in the street and they gotta dig a big trench really deep, and they have to put personnel down in the trench, you need shoring boxes like this that ensures that the dirt does not cave in and kill anybody. Now while Monster Jam is very mainstream, right, and it's probably very corporate, I gotta say, there's still a pretty good level of redneck ingenuity. I mean, to take a trench shoring box and that's what they build their backflip ramp off of. It's pretty clever. So it looks like Ryan is kind of filling in all of the divots and the dips that are gonna lead up to the backflip ramp to give it a nice flat foundation to sit on. Now, I'm assuming obviously every city that they go to, they probably have a trench shoring rental company that they get these from, but this was probably left here from 2 weekends ago because you can still see the tire marks from the monster trucks. I believe they fill up to about here with dirt, somewhere around there, and then they use this flat part to kind of kick them around. It looks like some of the dirt is starting to finally get to where they can work with it. So over here we got a guy on a dozer and in the wheel loader, and they're starting to build what I believe is going to be the big center section, or at least part of one of the features. One thing I've noticed in the couple of hours I've been here is this is a very well-oiled machine. There's no confusion. Everybody understands what their job is, and like this is just boom, 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 boom. Things are just getting done. With the amount of equipment you have moving around here and the amount of things that need to get transferred from one piece of equipment to the next, it just seems like it is super seamless, and they're doing a killer job. When we first saw this dirt when we rolled in, and it was in just these mounds that didn't look that big, things have drastically changed. So again, Ryan is turning all this dirt over, just basically trying to mix it up, get the wet spots out, exposed to the air, so hopefully they start to dry out. But that is a big excavator, and it looks tiny next to this pile. I mean, that's probably close to 20 something feet up there. That is a lot of dirt, and that is just one pile. There are multiples of this all around. Again, remember, they're trucking out 135 truckloads they're taking out that they don't need. Looks like they are now moving on to a second feature they're building right behind me here. And the good thing about these wheel loaders is they move a ton of dirt. Then I believe one of the dozer operators is gonna come over and kind of shape things into place. Next, they want to get this backflip ramp built. However, there's a couple of trench plates that they are missing and they're trying to find. So you guys are at a pretty severe disadvantage building from this level, considering once you get up to there, it all has to look perfect and straight and in line, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's real hard to see from this angle.
Yeah, we do a lot of measuring, and then we'll go up in the seats at the end of the day and eye it up and
there
check
you
it
go.
out. But yeah, it's gotta look good from up top.
Well, it looks like one of the trench plates was located. Now that at least one side has a trench plate, Ryan is filling it up with some dirt. And I believe the dirt is just basically to absorb the impact so that the monster truck, when it hits this thing, it's basically hitting a solid wall.
They're new, so we gotta.
You can see the ramps behind me now. Apparently these are brand new. They've never used this style of ramp. Now what it sounds like with these new metal ramps is basically, it sounds like the way they used to do it was just dirt piled up against the trench shoring, and eventually throughout the night as more people hit it, obviously the dirt is gonna change. If you ever look at a supercross track, that's why they regroove the track in between all of the big races. Well, it seems like the concept behind the metal is the metal's always gonna keep the same angle. You're never gonna get too big ruts, which will keep it consistent when it comes to the drivers being able to do backflips. Now that they have brought the dirt in with the wheel loaders, Ryan is in the excavator and he is shaping basically to the contour of the ramps. I guess they can actually tailor these, not with the metal ramps, but prior they would tailor these to how some drivers like their ramps to be. And different shapes of ramps obviously made the trucks do different things. Some made the truck go further away from the ramp, some made the truck go higher up in the air. This is gonna keep it all consistent, which, you know, that could be good or bad, but at least the ramps won't change throughout the night, which I believe is gonna give the drivers, I guess, more confidence when it comes to hitting the backflip ramp. But imagine for a second, you're driving this massive truck, you're basically plowing straight into this wall and then projecting yourself like 40 feet up in the air, upside down. Like, that is insane. You can see that custom cutting edge that they put on the excavator with a chain going around. It just basically goes over and encapsulates the teeth. And that's what gives them that nice flat edge, which we'll see when they go to export all the dirt, where that really does come in handy. You can see how nicely it works out though when grading up like the approach to the ramp. Alrighty y'all, well that is gonna wrap up day one. We will be back in the morning. These guys are gonna continue to mess with the dirt for tonight. Hopefully by tomorrow things are a little bit drier and we actually have a little bit of sunshine. So we will be back in the morning. We're on our way back to the stadium today, and I gotta say, it is unfortunately raining. It's not super hard, but it is just not gonna help the situation at all. Looks like the weather has lightened up just a little bit at the stadium, and I see dump trucks round tripping right here, which means they're going full force on their dirt export. I gotta say, y'all, with the ever-flowing line of trucks, they are moving an immense amount of dirt out of here in a very quick time. So apparently right after I left yesterday, the dirt started to really tighten up and they were able to get a lot done. I mean, obviously you can see, showing up this morning, there has been a lot of progress. So about how many pieces of equipment do you guys bring out here? I mean, there's a lot.
Good question. I got like 4 loaders, 5 skid steers, 2 dozers, 2 excavators. It's a lot.
For about a 9-man crew?
Yeah, 9 or 10.
There you go.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of the final shaping's getting done with an excavator. Is that kind of how y'all roll?
Yeah, pretty much. We shape it in with the loaders and the dozers, and then we measure everything, and then cut it all out, do the final cuts with the excavator, and then take the skid steers around and just wipe it down and make it look real nice. This floor is a disaster from all the rain and mud and all the trucks, but when we're done, we'll bulldoze and grade this real nice and make that flat too.
There you go. It's crazy how big these features look. Again, I mean, I've watched it from up there, but standing down here, they don't look that big from up there. That's a pretty big ramp.
Yeah, that thing will be an 8-foot tall ramp, so they jump pretty high.
Sweet.
Backflip's 10 foot tall.
One thing I've noticed being here is there is a very heavy science to all of this. I mean, you can see all the stakes and the markers in the ground. They've got some numbers here. I'm assuming that's, what we got, 75 feet, 85 feet, something along those lines. This area is massive and huge. And then you got this cool little playground over here with a bunch of little different features. It's almost like a snowboard park. This thing's got some ramps with some tires built into it. I'm not sure exactly what they use that for. We got a pipe right here, which I'm sure again is for some type of pop coming off of this ramp. But you'll notice all the way down to the little flag markers, they spray paint everything on the edges where they want the ramps to be cut. While this is a competition, this is also, it's an entertainment, right? It's gotta look good from the crowd. Things need to be shaped properly. It's all gotta be pretty aesthetically pleasing. And these guys do a killer job of making that happen. You can see the finished backflip ramp from yesterday, and they're grading out all of the dirt around it. And again, they'll come in at the end with the skid steers and just make sure everything is nice and smooth. I will say, I feel bad for those of you that only get like an arena Monster Jam tour that comes to your town and has like a couple small little like humps in an ice arena, because these things are massive. I mean, that's a full-size like motocross step up right there that the trucks are going to be hitting. It's pretty impressive. see every little bit of finesse it takes to compact the sides of the ramps. And again, you want it visually appealing. If you look at like an area like over there, which hasn't really been packed down yet, it's hard to tell the definition of the ramp. And again, the whole goal here is entertainment, right? Like you want to be able to see how big these ramps are. If you're up in the stands and it's just mounds of dirt that aren't compacted, it's hard to tell where one ramp starts and one ramp stops. And I believe once all of this is done, they actually end up painting the sides of the ramps as well, again, to give it that more definition and help the people up in the crowd spot out the ramps easier. Right here's a good example. You can see the compacted side of a ramp versus an uncompacted side of a ramp.
That's the length of what the ramp's gonna be.
Okay.
They're 12 foot long, so everything's meticulously measured.
Gotcha. Sweet. See, we got some more measurements being taken right here off of the center point. This ramp had to be readjusted a little bit. We are standing where that big pile of dirt was. You can see it is gone now. They're doing their last final passes, it looks like, to kind of bring the grade to where they want it. Looks like there's 2 dump trucks that are hanging around. I'm assuming they're just to haul out the last bit of spoils from once these guys get it exactly final graded to how they like it. The skies have opened up again. We've got some more rain starting to come back down. At least we got a little bit of clear. Hopefully it's not for too long. The drops are starting to get a little bit bigger, so we'll see how this pans out. Luckily, it looks like most of the shaping is done. There's a couple other features it looks like they are adding right over there. Obviously, once this thing's built and shaped, like that's it, right? At that time, it's go time. If it gets super muddy during the actual event, then it is what it is, but these guys put in the work, got the track in the shape that it needed to be in, and then from there, all bets are off if it gets super muddy and rainy. While the track crew's busy inside doing their thing, you can see all of the trucks behind me. These are what bring in all the trucks, and they've got a ton of prep they've got to do from the last race, fixing all the stuff, obviously assembling the trucks. If you guys don't know, monster trucks obviously don't travel around with the big old tires on. They gotta swap out bodies, fix everything, and make it look like a brand new truck for each show. So we're gonna stick more to the dirt side for this video, but a lot of cool stuff happens over there. For the last 2 days that I've been here, those guys have just been going full steam over there as well while the track crew is building the track. You guys know, if you watch this channel, I have an affinity for street sweepers. I've always wanted to run one of those bad boys right there. You know, maybe next year I can finagle my way on to, you know, joining the crew. I'll just be the guy that cleans the streets, you know? I don't really care. I feel like that'd be entertaining for a little while. There's a lot of mud that they have to clean up, especially today from all of the export of the dirt. We're heading on over to what used to be a lake, and it's now your guys' dirt pile, right?
Yep, we're hauling out. Actually, we're done. We hauled out like about 140 loads of extra Supercross dirt, so just going to check out how it looks.
Now, how much fuel do you guys burn through? It's gotta be a ton.
A lot. Honestly, I don't know exactly, but we have a 500-gallon tank on site, and it gets filled up every couple days, so.
Gotcha, okay. Now, it's crazy to think that I'm sure at some point, like, when they run out of parking spots, you're parking on what is the Supercross and the Monster Jam dirt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of stadiums, it's the parking. In Tampa, we just make the whole field like 5-6 feet tall with real gentle things, and that's all the parking in the football stadium all year.
That's pretty wild. I always assumed it was just like this pile of dirt off-site somewhere, but I guess it's much cheaper to keep it on-site.
Yeah, I mean, that's how much is inside right now.
There you go. So we were probably about to where the side of his track is where it was this before you guys started exporting.
Yeah.
And yeah, you still have that much more to go, plus that other lake over there, right?
Yeah, that other one is all stone, so that's like a stone base down first.
Gotcha.
And then the rest is the dirt that's just a thin layer, and then all the jumps. So
that's pretty wild. That's pretty.
I think still probably about 300-ish dump truck loads got to come out of there.
Jeez. So we'll probably be back at some point to film the whole export, because that's your favorite part, right?
Oh yeah. Getting the dirt out is the best part.
There you go. And you'll notice as these guys are going through, like they have a ton of different machinery, and that's for good reason. Like as you go, it's kind of like building a house, right? You start with the concrete guy, well, you start with the dirt work, and then you start with the concrete guys, then the framers come in, and then as you get to the more finished product, like the equipment gets smaller, right? The drywall, the trim carpenter, same thing here. Like as you get to like the last final steps, it's skid steers versus, you know, the big wheel loaders.
Yeah, I mean, basically we need a little bit of everything, so luckily they give us all the best equipment there is.
In the just under 4 hours that we've been here today, this place has just taken an absolutely different shape. I mean, again, you can see the kind of the process is they start with the big piles of dirt. They get them in a general area. Again, they leave this center marker with all the dimensions on it. And then from there, they start to refine it. Cut that pile down a little bit with a bigger piece of equipment. Then run the tape measures again. Start to spray everything out where you want it to finally come in and chop out last little bits, which makes everything just take its beautiful form and beautiful shape. I mean, these guys are truly masters at what they do. Again, there's not a whole lot of like confusion. There's not a lot of having to go back and forth, or people not knowing when to jump in a different piece of equipment and go clean the street or anything like that. Like everything I've watched so far has been very beautifully orchestrated. Now, as somebody that has built a couple of smaller dirt bike tracks at my house, knowing the right angle to cut the lip of a jump in, it's definitely an art and a science. I mean, you're looking at this, like even on a dirt bike, that's a gnarly angle. But remember, you're building this for these giant trucks. The folks that actually train and drive these things, I mean, it's gotta be cool to show up every weekend to a freshly built track by these guys, but it definitely takes like another level of abilities in driving to just be like, yeah, we're just gonna hammer down at features like this, giant step-ups like that. So they're bringing the grader in now to run around the perimeter. Assuming that means we're getting close to this thing being completely finished. It is looking phenomenal and beautiful out here. It's super cool to see this whole thing take shape. Before we call it for the day, I'm gonna head up at the stands, give you guys a nice overall view. I know we did it with the drone, but it's a little bit different of an angle from the actual stands. And you know, so far, I haven't been kicked out of anything I've done. I feel like we should press that a little bit. And of course, right when the track is almost done, now they get the sunshine. That'll make for good competition. And like I had mentioned earlier though, guys, from up here, all of that stuff looks tiny. You do not realize just how big some of those features are unless you're standing down there next to them. Alrighty guys, well, we are officially out of here. Tomorrow, the monster trucks come and do the practice, and the next 2 days are the big shows. Again, my plan is to come back and hopefully film when they do all of the big export. It is supposedly a very cool operation that I'm excited to showcase. You guys know I love showing behind the scenes stuff. This is super cool, a super cool profession to get into. And I know a lot of people are probably gonna ask about getting jobs, and I think it's a very exclusive group of guys. Obviously, you see how well everybody has to work together. It's not something that they can just open hire for. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now. That way you do not miss out on any future content. And don't forget to give this video a like and get a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys can get a 2-pack of shirts like this for pretty cheap. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.